Welcome to the deep dive. We distill the insights, aiming to get you truly well informed. Today, we're jumping into the amazing story of the Ganga dynasties. And right off the bat, let's be clear. This isn't just one group. It's actually two distinct but really historically profound royal lines from ancient and medieval India.
Yeah, so our mission today, we're exploring the Western Gangas. They were based in Karnataka, roughly 350 to 999 CE. And then there are the Eastern Gangas over in Kalinga, that's modern Odisha and parts of Andhra Pradesh. Their main rule was, 5th to 15th century?
That's right, and incredibly, one branch, the Kamundi Gangas, kept going right up until the mid-20th century. It's quite something.
It really is. I mean, both rank among the longest reigning dynasties in Indian history. So we want to unpack how these two powers, geographically separate, managed to leave such huge, lasting cultural marks. Okay, let's dig into the Western Gangas first. Their origins seem, a bit murky, don't they?
Definitely. You've got this mix of myth stories about the Ganges River, blessings from Jain figures like Simhanandi, blended with actual archaeological finds.
So what does that kind of hazy origin story tell us about how they maybe gained power and kept it?
Well, I think it really sets the scene for a dynasty that was incredibly pragmatic politically. They really mastered survival and shrewd alliances over 600 years. They weren't always the top dogs. Often they acted as feudatories, loyal but somewhat independent, rulers under bigger empires like the Chalukyas or the Rashtrakutas.
Right, they played the game well.
Exactly. They knew how to align themselves. Think about King Batuga II. He allied with the Rashtrakutas and won big against the Cholas at the Battle of Takolam in 949 CE. That shows real strategic thinking.
That's impressive statecraft. But something else about the Western Gangas really jumps out, and that's the status of women. It seems surprisingly emancipated.
Oh, absolutely. It's quite remarkable for the era. You had queens involved in governing. Women like Jakyabe could inherit administrative posts like Nalgavunda.
And Nalgavunda was a genuine position of power,
Yeah.
like a district administrator.
Precisely. Real authority. Plus, women had property rights, freedom of movement. It challenges a lot of the common ideas about women's roles back then.
What do you think enabled that? Was it just pragmatic, like you said before?
Yeah.
Maybe using all available talent?
It likely was partly pragmatic governance, yes, but it certainly suggests a more complex social structure than sometimes portrayed. And this sort of progressive outlook ties into their cultural legacy, too. Their strong support for Jainism, for instance. That led to incredible architecture, like the giant Gomateshwara statue at Shravanabelagala. Huge undertaking.
Wow, 10th century, right?
10th century, yeah. And they were also key in promoting the Kannada language, making it central to the court and culture.
Okay, so that's the West. Let's pivot east now. The Eastern Gangas, even more staying power, with that branch lasting into the 1900s.
Incredible, isn't it? And their rulers achieved some truly monumental things. Anantavarman Chodagangadeva, for example. He united a huge kingdom, basically Ganges to Godavari, and he's the one who commissioned the great Jagannath Temple at Puri.
A UNESCO World Heritage Site now.
Indeed. And then later, Narasimhadeva, I built the Konark Sun Temple, also UNESCO listed, supposedly to celebrate a military win. Just stunning structures.
It is striking, though, how much of their resources, their wealth, seems to have poured into these enormous temples. Was it purely about faith? Or was there more to it, maybe economics or power projection?
I think it was definitely a mix. Yes, deep religious devotion, but also a very savvy form of economic policy. Think about it. Massive construction projects stimulate the economy, employ thousands, and absolutely project power and prestige.
A symbol of their might.
Exactly. And connected to that, their promotion of the Jagannath cult was strategically brilliant. It brought together different traditions, creating a unifying force across their diverse kingdom. You could almost call it early soft power.
That's a great way to put it.
And crucially, during very turbulent times with repeated invasions from the north, they acted as a kind of bulwark, preserving Hindu traditions, art, and culture. Kalinga became a refuge.
And like the Western Gangas champion Canada, the Eastern Gangas really pushed the Odia language forward, right? Made it official.
Yes, they played a major role in developing Odia and making it central to their administration and cultural identity. Another parallel, but with a different regional focus.
So bringing it all together, what are the main threads connecting these two dynasties?
Well, the similarities are pretty striking despite the distance. Both reigned for exceptionally long periods. Both developed Sophisticated ways of governing, probably influenced by classic texts like the Arthashastra.
The ancient guide to statecraft.
That's the one. And both left behind incredibly rich cultural legacies, art, architecture, literature through their patronage.
But the differences are just as key, aren't they?
Absolutely. Their main religious focus diverged quite clearly. Jainism was central for the Western Gangas, while the Eastern Gangas focused on Vaishnavism and especially the Jagannath cult.
And their building styles. Very different looks.
Completely different. You have the sort of Dravidian influence style in the West, think tiered structures. In the East, it's the distinct Kalinga or Nagara style with those characteristic curved spires. And of course, the languages they championed, Kannada versus Odia.
So two distinct paths, really.
Definitely. But both dynasties, even though maybe seen as regional players, had this profound collective impact. They truly shaped the distinct identities of Karnataka and Odisha that we see today. They showed amazing adaptability in governance and, well, incredible cultural resilience over centuries.
Which really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? How did these two separate Ganga dynasties, often considered, smaller kingdoms compared to the vast empires, manage to create such huge, enduring legacies? It really makes you wonder. Proving that influence isn't always about sheer imperial size, something for you to ponder.